True. Like my genetics, I do not have a big butt and big legs, and I'm working super hard to get those. And I don't know that I'll ever get what those girls have that I'm competing with, but I'm surely going to do my best because I love this,
Yeah. If you stop to think about it for a minute, being a dancer for an NBA team and competing in the IFBB as a bikini competitor probably has a reasonable path to go from one to the other. The body types aren't too dissimilar. You're maintaining a certain aesthetic to do the job. And a dance performance background is probably a big asset on stage as well when it comes to your presentation. Well, today I'm talking with Monique Chilcutt, who did both of those things, spending 3 years dancing for the Sacramento Kings and now in her second season competing in the IFBB. With the added detail that she had about a 28-year gap between those two episodes of her life. So, did her dance background help her find success in bodybuilding? And what did she do in those years between the two? We're going to find out today in episode 274 of The Drop Set. Let's hit it. All right, Monique Chilcutt, welcome to The Drop Set. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. So, you are, let's just break the ice for everybody here. You are, let's see if we can get this right. IFBB Pro in bikini.
Yes.
Dancer.
Yes.
Dance instructor.
Yes.
What else do we want to add to that list?
Fitness instructor, and a NASM certified personal trainer.
Okay, all right. Anything else like dog mom or regular mom?
Yes.
Or
dog mom and regular mom. I have 2 kids, and I just became a grandma.
Oh my goodness!
Yep, on October 4th. Yeah, so add that to the list. And I have 2 puppies. Yeah, they're 5 months old. That's funny you say that. 2 golden retrievers.
Two puppies that are 5 months old.
Yes.
So a lot of people, I'm looking over here at my most recent puppy. She's 5 now, 5 years, but she's down on the ground here. When I got her as a puppy, she was like an angel from day one, slept through the night and everything. So people are like, oh, puppy. I'm like, my puppy experience was great. So how was yours with those 2? I'm assuming at the same time.
Right. We always get 2 puppies. We never just get 1 because in the litter, first of all, how can you pick just 1? But second of all, they get along and they just keep each other company, and it's just been wonderful. So this is our 7th golden retriever. Like we've had 2, and then 1, and then yes. So anyway, so we're accustomed and used to it, but it's been like 3 years since our last doggies have passed away. So anyway, so it was all back to we have a baby now, has to pee every 5 minutes.
Yeah. I was so shocked the first time I ever had a puppy. It's like they got a drink of water. I'm like, okay, I should think about taking them outside in a little bit. And like literally 90 seconds later, like, holy shit, that goes fast.
Exactly what's going on around here. So yeah, don't walk around in the dark with your no shoes on because thankfully we have hardwood floors, so it's like no biggie, just clean it up. Yeah.
Easy peasy. Hardwood floors for a reason. That's the puppy special if you're shopping for new floors.
Yes and yes.
Yeah. So this tells you something about me because you said you have kids and you have dogs. I immediately go to the kids or to the dogs. I'm like, kids, whatever. So brag on the kids a little bit. What are they doing?
Oh, okay. Let's brag on it. Well, like I said, I became a grandmother on October 4th. Yeah. So my son, our son got married and then just this summer, and then had the baby, and he's a teacher at my old high school. He's teaching physics. He's a smarty.
Nice.
He went to Cal Poly, I know. Anyway, and he's only 25, so he's a young teacher. So the kids are just like, oh yeah, he's crowded at lunch hour. Yeah, right. So physics, and what else is he teaching? Oh, calculus. I don't even know how he's my kid. But anyway.
That's a man after my own heart right there.
Right?
I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Anyway, so he's doing great. And then that's out there in Sacramento where he's at. Yeah. And then our daughter is still in school. She's got a couple more years. She transferred from UNC Chapel Hill to, she's at Santa Monica College right now in film. She wants to major in film and go to CSU Northridge, so film school. And she's thinking about fashion too, so she's all up. Yeah, so she's in LA right now, loving it. She's got a rooftop.
Cool.
apartment. Like she's got like right there by UCLA. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's pretty cool.
She's living the life.
Yeah, she's loving it. She's like, Mom, it's so cool here. I love the vibe. I'm like, all right, yep.
That's awesome. So I had Teresa on here before, and she's from like the whole Central California area. I assume that that's how she knew you because you were there, and now you're in North Carolina. Is that correct?
Right. So I spent my whole family's there, grew up there, went to college, then went to Sac State. Was a dance major, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and so when I got into bodybuilding is how I met Teresa. Yeah, because our coach, we have the same coach, Trish Wood, yes.
Trish, yep.
Yeah, so I just moved to North Carolina 2 years ago. So I'm fairly new out here, but probably moving back because of the grandbaby.
Okay, well, and did you move out there because of your daughter going to school at UNC?
Sure, that was part of it, absolutely. But my husband's family lives out here in South Carolina and some in Alabama. So we've been out in Cali for 25 years, so we thought we'd switch to this coast for a bit, yeah.
It's kind of like a prolonged visitation, kind of like we'll go live out there for a little bit and make people happy. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha. And so is Charlotte is where you're at right now?
No, actually Raleigh. Have you been to Raleigh ever? Yeah.
I mean, I used to live in Asheville, so.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah.
I know.
I know it's
say a
horrible,
prayer for Asheville, right?
Oh my gosh.
So I still have a lot of friends there, but I moved to Knoxville like 12 years ago, and I've been here since then. So.
Okay, Knoxville, that's nice.
Yeah, but my time in Asheville, I went to Raleigh a little bit, but more to Charlotte. Just bodybuilding shows in the area. They were really like. What was it? I'm blanking on the name. Wilmington, which bit of a trek.
Yes,
bit of a trek to get out there. Charlotte, High Point, but I think Greensboro is actually where I spent more time because they had more shows there. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
So you competed, yes?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I did the Charlotte Cup back in 2012. That was my last show for a long time. Until I was coaching the whole time, but I'm like, I don't want to compete anymore. And then 21, I got back into it and did the Lee Haney show down in Georgia. So
fun.
And then did a show just this last June in Chattanooga. So I want to ask you some questions, but I'll give you my prelude here, which is to say, like, I'm one of those guys, like, I'm good to compete, like, once every couple of years at this point. Like, I got enough other stuff going on. It's like, I'm not, there's some of those people that compete 4 and 5 times a year. I'm like, no way. Absolutely not could I do that. So what's your take on that? Like, where are you on that spectrum of 10 times a year versus once every 10 years?
Well, because I'm fairly new to this, I've only been doing this 3 years. I mean, I went pro after only 2 years of competing. I've been a dancer my whole life. I just fell into this.
We're going to talk about that. I can tell you that for sure. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm making notes here. Hold on. Go for
it. So I was been a dancer my whole life, majored in dance in college, was a Sacramento Kings dancer for 3 years, super fun. And then, 6 years ago, I got into the group fitness teaching at a big club, fitness club. And so by doing that, I met some people and started lifting weights, and I just fell in love with it because I saw the changes in my body. I was like, wow, I can do this to my body. This is incredible. So I just felt empowered, and that feeling of feeling stronger and feeling healthier, and just all of it was just so, exciting to me, and I was just hooked from that point on.
But you were clearly in shape already with the dance background.
I've always been, yes, for sure. I've always continued to dance, even with having my kids. I've always continued to be fit and be in shape. But muscle-wise, no, I did never do that. But to tell you more to the story, my mother was a bodybuilder. She did bodybuilding, the bodybuilding category.
Yeah.
From age 40 to 50.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And she was in the days, though, when they were doing, stuff, and she wasn't. And so they were together on stage, and, she could never compete with those other girls. Yeah.
She was doing bodybuilding when bodybuilding was the only category for women.
Right. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. So I got to go back to one thing real quick. You mentioned Sacramento Kings dancer. What era, what years are we talking there?
Oh, righto. That would be the big hair days where we used Aquanet and my hair was like, whoosh, right? That would be the early 90s, my friend. 90 to
Early 90s.
93.
Okay. 1993. So that was probably like my heyday as far as paying attention to the NBA was probably like 95 to 2002, something around there. Like
Okay, okay, so you just missed
the Chris Webber era in Sacramento. So yeah. Okay.
100%. Yeah, the days that I cheered, we didn't win many games. That was
Yeah.
those days.
Yeah, well, and I grew up, I was in Oregon, so I was a huge Blazers fan. And
Okay.
so it was like Blazers, Kings, Lakers, and it's like
Oh,
we all
yes.
just hated each other. I mean, you know how it
Yes.
goes. So,
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, but it was super fun because the girls on the squad, we were all tight. We were all got along, and we all were from similar dance backgrounds where we had like real serious dance training. We weren't just, people who, get out there and shake your booty. We had real backgrounds with ballet or jazz or whatever, So it was cool because we did a variety of styles of routines that were super fun and challenging. And we actually won some award on some show, I can't remember, for the best dance team in the NBA at the time. We really did appeal to the crowds. We had to all the ages in the crowds, so all the different genres of music. So it was kind of fun. We had quite a fan base. So.
well, I know that the Kings dancers have a reputation. Like I
Yeah.
remember that from my time when I was watching the NBA. It's like everybody's like, "Oh, the Laker girls." I'm like, "Yeah," but I know the Kings dancers had a reputation of being just a little bit more like I don't know if I'd say like energetic, but that might be a good way to put it. Like a
Sure,
little bit more
yeah.
involved, a little bit more elaborate.
For sure. I think that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, we had a lot of energy. We were just always giving it 150%, a lot of personality and into our routines. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
So I've talked to other women who have been dancers for teams or like cheerleaders in the NFL or anything like that, and I've heard some kind of gnarly stories. I think it's because a lot of the situations there, it's like you're in professional sports, it's a men's team, it's kind of a boys' club. Did you have any experience like that, or was it like super chill? We've got camaraderie. It's the girls' team. It's was there any like I don't need you to spill tea or anything like that, but was it a good experience? Would you recommend it to other people, or would you kind of say like, hey, watch out for XYZ? There's some things you have to be on the lookout for.
Right. At the time I did it, it was basically who hired us was a company called USA, United Spirit Association. So it's through a cheerleading, yeah. And so we were under contract with them, and in our contract, it stimulated no fraternization, with the players, and we were very kept separate, and I didn't experience any issues at all, but I ended up I did it for 3 years. So I don't know if you know this part of the story, but the third year I did start dating a player, and that's who I married.
I did not know that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
it's a good fun story. Yeah, I couldn't do the dance team anymore. Yep. So there you go.
That's funny. Okay, all right. So that's what led to you saying like, and it's not like you were caught and kicked out. You're like, hey, I can't do this.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm always looking for the drama. I'm digging around. I'm like, oh, there's a story here, right?
Yeah, I know. Where is it?
Did you? So you were kind of like managed by some kind of like contracting agency, basically, or something like that.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
It was a cheerleading association who did, and so after I had left, I had recommended all my dancer friends to do it because I had such a great experience. Then they went on. The USA didn't have them under contract. It was the owners of the Kings at the time who did it the next time. So some
Is that
girls
the Maloof guys?
Yeah,
Am I remembering that
some
right?
girls,
Yeah.
unfortunately, didn't have the same experience I did because, and not blaming them, it's just that the contract that wasn't strict, and so therefore there were not things that led to good things. Yeah.
Well, I think if you've got an agency acting as an intermediary,
Right.
like, the team ownership would have to like be in contract with or have communication through that agency, and there's a filter in there.
Right.
Like my concern there is like when the team ownership is like, hey, these dancers, we don't like the way that they're looking, blah, 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 blah. They need to lose some weight or something like that. I feel like there's a situation that's rife for stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you've
for
got
sure.
an agency in there, they're like, hey, hold on, we can kind of negotiate a little bit. We can say that's not appropriate. That's not in our contract. And then you kind of work all that stuff out in advance.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah.
And so when you were doing that, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that weight training was not part of the equation. It was all just like dance, drill, probably some cardio work to make sure your conditioning's up, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. That's it. Never did weights. No.
how far from your mind was lifting at that point?
Oh my gosh. Like so far. No, I'm serious. I watched my mom like literally on the carpet, like curled over, falling asleep. Because I mean, she ate tuna and lettuce. I watched her and I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, no, you're right.
No,
and,
not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. And then look, and so she's just loving this journey for me, and she's been a good supporter, and it's been fun.
That's awesome. And so that's kind of curious because I think a lot of people, like my default assumption coming into a conversation like this with somebody who starts competing, like not in their 20s, but later on in their adult life, is that this is something that they weren't even aware of. And then somebody like brought them into the fold and they're like, hey, you should do this. You knew about it. Like you had an inside look as to what went on.
I did, but I had forgotten because I wasn't interested in doing it at all, right? Mm-hmm. Until I started working out with a friend. And then what really got me was a coworker at the gym I worked at. She came up to me one day and she said, are you training to compete? And I looked at her and I said, compete for what? Like I had no idea. Like the whole world of the competing. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then I confided in a friend who I knew had done one, and I talked to her about what it's like and all the different leagues and and got the ins and outs, the pros and the cons, and and then sought out a trainer, and that's when I went and found Trish, Wood at Iron Addiction, and that was in 2021 that I started. So
this is pretty recent history here,
right? This is it. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so you're already in the gym. What got you into the gym, and what were you doing in there?
Right. So it was one of my dance students. Yep, who was a lifter herself, and she got me. She's like, come train with me. I'm like, okay. And so and she was also a personal trainer in Arizona, and so she had that knowledge. She wasn't like somebody didn't know what she was doing. So we started training together, and once I started seeing the results. She would say things like, well, watch, in 3 months, you're going to have, this weight or be able to lift this, or you're going to have, look this way. And I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. And then I saw it, and I literally started crying because she took a video, and I started crying because I'm like, that's not my body. Who is that? I don't even know who that is. Yeah, it was pretty
because
amazing.
You've had a probably, I would say here, I'm going to make an assumption, a pretty established history of watching yourself on video. Like you probably had dance routines recorded. You've watched yourself. You know what you look like.
Every finger in the right place. Yep. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so you see that and you're like, hold on, this is a different me here. What's happening here at this point?
Yes, exactly right.
So were you just doing the lifting at that point? Had you made any changes to your diet at all at that point?
Yeah, good question. I did. I added more protein, more fats. Yeah, I just kind of cleaned it out, stopped eating processed foods. And and I wasn't following any plan, but I just did those things. And immediately I started, so if you see pictures of me, I am a thin person, but my face, I was inflamed. I'm just basically, from all the processed food. So when I saw that changing, I was like, I just had a whole different look. I just looked healthier, right? I looked in the mirror and I'm like, wow, like that's the Monique I know. Like, where has she been? That kind of thing. Yeah. And then never getting sick. I mean, I didn't even get COVID. I mean, it was just like, it's amazing what I was feeling.
That's funny. How would, look, the two-part question here. The first is, you were a dancer up until like 95-ish, something like that, you said?
On the Kings until 93.
Yeah. Till 93, okay. And then you started competing or training to compete in 2021.
Yes.
So there's a big 20, I don't know how many year gap that is. My math is bad. 28-year gap, something like that. Right. What was going on in between there? What were you doing?
Well, I had kids. Yep. And let's see, I was yard duty. I was art docent. I was for my kids, soccer mom. Team mom on the soccer team mom in the classroom. I mean, you name it, I was doing it.
I gotcha.
I mean, I was dressed up in character.
Very active mom.
Oh, yeah, I was so active, so big. I taught an after-school dance program at my kids' school. Brought that in, and super fun. We did High School Musical. So fun. Anyway, directed the talent shows. I mean, one of those moms. Yep. True.
Okay. I know the type because my wife is a teacher and she teaches at a private school, and they rely on, they have parents come in to do things, and there's some parents that are just like the super volunteers who want to be involved in everything. So you'd probably be in that category.
I wasn't over the top, but I surely loved it, and I surely saw the difference it made in my kids. Like they really enjoyed having me there. They weren't the kids that were like, "Oh, I wish she would go away." So it was good. Yeah, it was all good stuff. And in between there, I taught at different dance studios. I had competition dance teams that I was a director of that took to Vegas, that kind of stuff. So I was always busy in the dance community during those years as well.
Okay. And the other thing I'm kind of curious about, when you were a King's dancer, knowing what you know about like diet right now, what was your diet like back then? Like, would you just eat like a trash panda and then just work it off because you were going to burn a ton of calories every day?
Okay, so people hate me. Okay, full disclosure, I must have, and I know I have, a very great metabolism, just gifted. So I was one of those people who could eat whatever and look, And then there's those girls that were like eating crackers all day so they could make their weigh-ins. It was like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. But
you're over there like stuffing your face with a hot dog. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? No, I did not diet. I ate anything and everything I wanted, and I didn't eat bad. And I was a poor college student, so I was like living on Taco Bell. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever.
I call it the carefree diet. You just don't give a shit. Just whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it.
No. And I mean, it's good that you recognize, like, I've got a good metabolism, because some people will just, say like, no, I just work so hard. I'm like, well, sure, that might be part of it. And this is huge in bodybuilding. People are like, it's all work ethic. I'm like, you can have great work ethic, and if you have crappy genetics, you're going to struggle.
True. Like my genetics, I do not have a big butt and big legs, and I'm working super hard to get those, and I don't know that I'll ever get what those girls have that I'm competing, but I'm surely going to do my best because I love this,
Yeah.
But,
and you've recognized you have genetic advantages elsewhere.
Right. Totally. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's very few people that have the total package where they've got, just like 10 out of 10 genetics and everything. It's like, sometimes you got to just roll with, well, I've got good genetics for calves, even if I can only eat 1,200 calories a day before I start to gain weight. At least I've got good calves or something, at least. Figure out what you can hang your hat on.
Hey, I love good calves. Don't interrupt.
Yeah, I know. We shouldn't under forearms. I've got great forearm genetics.
Forearms. Okay.
Yeah. So, started competing 2021. What was that process like from like, okay, I'm going to do this, up until you get up on stage? Like, what happened? What's the timeline, like months, etc.?
Right.
Like, what was the process like?
Absolutely. That's great. I remember walking in to Iron Addiction. It was like July, and I was signing up, and I was like, okay, so, when can I compete? Oh, you could compete in like 3 months. And I'm like, what? Like, are you kidding? I don't think so. So
I don't have any idea what I'm doing.
I don't have any idea, but okay, let's go. So I'm like, all right, so let's do this. And so, I competed in October in San Jose. I think it was Muscle Mayhem. And that was COVID time. They were going to make us wear masks, but then they gave us an option, which was great, because I'm like, if I can't show my smile, I mean, that's going to just not be nice, right?
It's a big asset.
I mean, seriously. Okay.
I would do it because I get up on stage and I look like a serial killer. They're like, smile. And I'm like, I am smiling. Shut up. So I'd be like, mask? Like, I would wear a mask now just because then nobody would be looking. They wouldn't be expecting anything. It's just like, oh, he's just wearing a mask because he's an idiot.
Oh, my cheeks hurt. Okay. Oh, my gosh. That is good stuff.
But if you don't have the serial killer problem, then you don't want to wear a mask. Absolutely.
I know. I was like, this is going to kill me. Anyway, so we didn't have to wear masks, thankfully. But I was so nervous. Even though I'm a dancer and I have experience on stage, this is a whole new ball of wax, right? And I was so nervous. And so I was all shaky up there. And Trish was with me, and she's like, yeah, you were a little shaky. And I'm like, I know. So then I got up for category number 2, because, I did novice and, whatever. I did a few categories. So the second time I got up, I was like, okay, let's breathe, shall we? And let's just slow it down. And I was better the second time.
It's good that you had, because that couldn't have been a huge gap of time between those two classes. Like, you had, a few minutes probably?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's good that you were able to recognize, like, hey, I'm a nervous ball of wax right now. Let's just calm the whole thing down. Let's drop the temperature a few degrees and because that's what everybody needs to do. I always tell people, like, if you haven't performed in any capacity before, because I've done theater, I'm a musician, so I play in a band. Like, when you're up on stage and people are watching you, like, time moves differently. Like, as a dancer, it's the same thing. And I would guess, like, what you realized is that you've got to treat it like a dance routine where you're giving a performance and like put yourself in that same kind of mental space.
Exactly. And that you just said it. The mental space that I know that I need is that I need to be backstage dancing. Like, the music that's playing, like get in that mode so that I go up there and I'm already relaxed. That's my pre-stage thing that I need to do. And I know that now and I've known it, but I remember one time I didn't do it and I was like, dang it, you know what? That's why I didn't feel good up there.
Because you're not going to get up there and dance and bounce, but you want to be in that mental space where it's like, okay, this is an extension of my comfort zone. This is my new comfort zone. And I'm just going to, like, you kind of slip into character a little bit.
Yes. And I always tell my students too in my dance class that stand up in the front row. Do you know how much different it is standing in the front row than standing in the back row? Like, it's a whole nother ball of wax. Like, you just, So I think people need to try to do more scary things. Like, just put yourself up there. It's like being on a roller coaster. If you're in the front compared to the back, I mean, it's obviously a big different experience. Sure.
a little bit. But also, it's like, I think if you're in the back, you can see what's happening in front of you, and you have more time to dread what's about to happen.
That's true. That is true.
Versus in the front, you get the surprise of the whole thing, and you don't have time to pee yourself beforehand.
That's a good point.
And so you said, like, put yourself out there, like, don't stand in the back. So, and competing in bodybuilding is the ultimate put yourself out there kind of endeavor.
Yes, it is.
It's not for the shy.
It's not. And you got to be okay with being judged by other people. And it's subjective. And you got to just know that what you're doing is for you, and you're competing against you only, and just bringing your best each and every time and see if you can improve that each and every time. That's what this is. If you're going in for any other reason, forget about it. You're going to be, not happy.
Yeah. So with the short prep, you said it was about 3 months, like 12-ish weeks, something like that, July to October?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how much emphasis during that time did you and Trish, I'm assuming, place on posing?
Oh, okay, yes. So Trish was my posing coach, and at the time I had a different trainer. Started out with James, and then I moved over to Trish. But Trish was the posing coach, yes. And I say I think it was once a week, yes, at that time for 3 months out, yes. And then as we got closer, a couple times a week.
Did you feel pretty comfortable with that by the time the show rolled around?
Yes, right. So I started out in the WNBF league, so the other league, and so the posing is a lot different, right? Yeah. It's a lot different. So a lot more, movement on the stage. But yes, I did feel really good. But then the nerves got me when I got up there that first time. The second time it was good. But yes, I did. I felt good.
That first time on stage, when you've never done it before, like the first time you do anything, whatever it is, whether it's this, whether it's the first time you go to play a guitar solo in front of other people, the first time you go to give a speech in front of a room, like you can practice, but as soon as you get yourself in that position, that's where you have the oh shit moment of the reality of everything kicking in, and you're like, I forgot everything that I'd practiced.
Exactly.
And so what I often tell people, I had this conversation with somebody just yesterday, in fact, where they want to take like a few years to get ready for their first show. I'm like, no, do one sooner, rip the Band-Aid off and get the experience of that first show under your belt as quickly as you reasonably can, which is kind of what you did. Yeah,
which is, I didn't understand. And then immediately after, so I did 6 shows in 1 year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. And I never did it again. I only did it because I was on a roll. It was like each and every time I was doing better and better, and I was getting in front of the same judges, and they were like telling me critiques, and I'm like, well, I don't want to like run away, and they know the redhead now, so let's just keep going. So, right? I'm like, okay, we got this. So I kept rolling, and I got all the way to USA's, right? Mm-hmm. Nationals, it was in LA.
LA. Typically in Vegas, right? But
Right.
in LA
But
for a
this
couple
one was
years.
in LA, and Trish was there. I got first place, but I didn't get overall, so I didn't get the pro card.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was like, So I trained for a whole year. Didn't do anything, right? Just trained. And I came back and won the pro card in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
in Pittsburgh. So it what would that have been? Masters Nationals?
No, it was teen collegiate.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Nationals. You're right. Yeah. That was it.
Well, there is another one that's just Masters Nationals in California now too.
Right.
So okay, so USA's got first, no pro card, and then your next show the following year, like you didn't compete again until Pittsburgh.
Yep, a whole year later. Yep.
And for Masters Nationals, also like you qualify just by having competed the previous year, so you don't need to do anything leading into it. So
right. Yeah.
And so, how was that? Like, what did you take from that experience at USA's? Like, did you get feedback, or did you and Trish know what you had to work on and make improvements on?
Yes. So, let's see. Let's take it back. So in those 6 contests, I did get first. Where I qualified for nationals was in Sacramento. Actually, I got first place, and I went to my first nationals in where was it? In New Jersey. That was Universe. Thank you. Sounds like yes, Universe. And okay, funny story. This is behind the scenes stuff. It's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm upstairs in my hotel room waiting, right? And they didn't have the nice messages that come across that say, okay, so and so's on stage. Some outfits do, right? Like Gary Udit has it. Okay. So anyway, this one didn't have it. So we're sitting up there, and it was supposed to be many more hours before my time. All of a sudden, I'm with a roommate, and she's competing too. She gets a call from a friend of hers, and her friend says to her, hey, where's Monique? She should be down here. She's supposed to be on stage. I'm like, ooh. Oh my gosh. So I run and put on my shoes. I'm going to the elevator. I speed down to the bottom. I get there. And the guy's like, you can't go on stage now. It's done. And I'm like, I'm ready to bawl. I'm like, are you kidding? And so he lets me go on stage, but I got no glossing, no pump, none of the pre-stuff. And I'm just thrown out there. And I killed it, which was nice. But I got second place. So, of course, I'm thinking, dang it, I could have got first if I was on my game, right? I could have.
They dropped you a place because you were late and they had to wait for you.
No, I don't think that's it. The girl had massive shoulders. The girl was amazing. She got it. But anyway, it was hilarious. So that was my first.
Do you know what happened? Like why that happened? Was it your mistake, or did they like skip a bunch of things? Or
no, it was my mistake. It just went faster than I thought. I never do this again.
That never happens. Like shows always go slower than you expect.
Right? That's exactly right. I'm like, okay, so now I'm down there 2 hours early. I'm just like, that's never happening again.
Yeah, it's like, okay, prejudging has started. I'm not leaving the building. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Oh, so that was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one. Then, so I got second. So I'm like, okay, we're on. Let's go to the next, which was a month later, which was North American. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So Trish and I focused on some legs and glutes, pretty much, and then got to North American, and I got third there. So not as great. Then I came back and went to the nationals in LA and did that's where I got first. So so when I got my pro card, it was my 4th national. Yes, sir. Yes.
Fourth national attempt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And all different shows. So Universe, USA's, whatever, North Americans, and then finally Masters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's something, having been on a tour of the national shows,
yes.
And don't say Masters because you won there, but which was your favorite and why?
Oh.
Because they're all little different. Every show is a different experience, right?
It's so true. No, you're absolutely right.
Like if you were going to recommend to somebody else, like, hey, I'm going to do a national show. The timing doesn't matter. I can go anywhere. Which one would you recommend?
Gotcha. Well, I have to say, and it's not just because I won my pro card. It was well attended. It was organized. It just the music, just the whole process of when I won my pro card was just well done. You know,
Okay.
I didn't feel like we were rushed as contestants. I felt like, you know what I mean? Like it just went smooth. And the ladies are always great. All the people I meet are always fantastic. So that's across the board. But I would have to say that one felt like it was the most fun. Yeah. And I've had a lot of friends who've done Teen Collegiate, same thing, who've won their pro card there and also had a great experience. So I don't know. What about you?
I have not been to a national show. I've never I have yet to earn my national qualification. So
Okay.
In classic physique, it's like, especially my age, like I could go do Masters Nationals and get my ass kicked there.
It's so hard.
It's just like, ugh, man, because you're competing in guys your age, but it's like, man, you look 10 years younger. Like it's hard to hang, and like I'm fairly close to the weight cap for classic physique. Like I can put on a couple of pounds, but that's about it. There's just, man,
It's just getting bigger and bigger, friend. They're
it's tough.
insane. Yeah.
I was doing okay until the last time they increased the weight cap, and I'm like, oh my god, really? now I got to keep chasing that. It's just
Right?
it's
On a
pain.
tiny
Yeah.
frame, I see these guys that are small and they just want to have to put on this weight. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, what has the feedback traditionally just been like legs and glutes more, or has it been that's pretty much it?
Yes, however, this last time, my last pro, so I've done 3 pro shows. I did one immediately after I got my pro card. I went to Worlds. So I did that. Okay. So, and then I took the whole year off, trained, and I did 2 shows this year. I did Tampa, and then I did, a month later, I did San Antonio. So what they said at Tampa, after I got off stage, he came back, the judge, and said, I'm just too lean all over too lean. Like I just came in too lean. So we're like, okay. So Trish and I fixed. So she pumped me up with more food, right? More fat, more and more carbs before and all this. So I looked fuller at San Antonio. The backstage feedback after that show was yes, more dense glutes, more dense. Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
so
that's these girls are 14 years in competing. I'm 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
of course, I get it, right? But yeah. Anyway,
So it's Operation Glutes now.
it is, and I worked them today, and I am like, ooh, heavy, heavy, heavy. But I getting more rest days, which is like I'm a whole nother animal when I get to rest. I'm like, let's go, like let's go. It's crazy. Like when I was overdoing it, it was like, I can't. You know what I mean? But when you have a rest day. Shoot, man, this is tackle it. It's good.
Yeah, totally. So are you training by yourself now? Because Trish is in California. You're in North Carolina. So.
Right. So when I'm in town, I train with her, but I'm training out here. There's a friend of mine who works at the same club I work at, and he's a power lifter and a trainer, and so I'm working with him specifically for glutes and legs. So he's really pushing, the heavy weight.
Is that like a training partner situation or kind of like a coach trainer?
No, kind of like a coach. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So would you say that conventionally, like traditionally for you, your issue is not getting lean enough? You're good with that. It's like, sure, I'll diet. I got to do some work, but it's fine.
I don't have a problem getting lean. Yes. Yeah. So, and I wonder sometimes, I'm tall too, you know, I mean, I'm tall, really tall, 5'8".
How tall?
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
5'8". Yeah. So there's that, but I'm a lean, long-legged dancer type body type. So getting that all over look that they want is going to be very challenging for me, for sure. But I'm up for it. Yeah.
So I'm curious to get your take on this then, because I certainly have my thoughts on the bikini category specifically and what they're looking for as far as conditioning and leanness is concerned. Because for somebody like you, who you're like, I can get lean, and then to be told like you're too lean, like where does that rank on the annoyance scale for you from 1 to 10?
Right? Yeah, that is a 10.
Okay. It's good to hear somebody say that, because a lot of people want to give like the political answer, like, no, it's fine. That's what it's supposed to be, blah, blah. And I'm always like, it's a bodybuilding show, and being too lean isn't something that we should really be punished for. Like to an extent, like if you show up and you're 4% body fat in bikini, it's like, whoa, chill out there a little bit. But it's like, if someone's maybe a little bit too lean, I'm like, kudos. Like you've dieted, you have gotten ready, you've followed the assignment. You have prepared for a show. You look great. So I don't
Well,
know.
and you said it, like, I felt I looked great, the best I've looked. And here's the thing. It's like someone said this to me, another competitor who was working the show, you know, backstage. They're always so great. He said, don't change your look just to appease other people. Like, you have a great look. And I know what he was trying to say. I'm going to keep rolling and keep doing this until I can't do it no more, because I love it. I love changing my physique. I love the look that I'm going for, you know, the bigger look, but not too big, you know. But it is a little frustrating when you get that feedback, because you're like, wait a minute, you want us to be lean. Like, that's part of the, and then to say that you're too lean, it's like, oh, okay.
It's kind of like, wait, so you want me to work less hard during prep? Is that what I'm hearing?
I know. So what?
Well, and part of it also is, I think it's sexist, just because no judge is ever going to tell a guy that they're too lean.
Oh, right.
It's just not in the vocabulary. But it's like, right. Women, oh no, hold on, no, you have to meet our standards. Like, part of it is just, to me, it feels kind of gross almost. Like, just the different standards for women. I could go on and on about this for a long time. Like, why do women have to pay $600 for a suit and guys buy $40 trunks? You know, and women have to pay for hair and makeup. Guys, they just step out of the shower and you're good to go. It's like,
yeah, and furthermore, girls winning first place in bikini and getting $1,000, and they're getting 10 times that.
Oh my God! Or at the Olympia, I can't remember what the winners got. Was it 50,000 for most categories? I think, and Mr. Olympia wins 600,000.
600.
Like,
you said it. Yep.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on. Like, yeah. I get it. Like, that's a big title. Is it 12 times the title of whoever wins wellness or bikini or figure or women's physique? I'm like.
And those athletes are working equally as hard. Like, how are you, like...
Yeah, I mean, if you're winning any category at the Olympia, it's your entire life.
Right on.
Right on. Period. So I will get off my soapbox here, but I just I feel the need to just... like, whenever I have the opportunity to go on a little bit of a mini rant about that, I'm always going to take it. So
I like it, yes.
Thank you for humoring me. So,
yes.
So... all these shows. So what's your experience been like? Like, how did things change for you going from, I mean, you said first you started in the WNBF, and then were there any other organizations prior to doing NPC shows, or was it just those two?
Nope, just those two.
Okay. So what's your experience been like, compare your amateur career versus your professional career? Like, once you earned that pro status, what changed?
Ooh, what changed? Well, the competitive level changed for sure, right? Mm-hmm. It's just so much more competitive. The women are just incredible. Like you said it, like someone who's 50, they look 30. In fact, let me just take it back. The girl who won for first place in the 60 category, I have showed all my friends her picture. Everyone thinks she's 30. I mean, she looks 30 and she's 60. It's just like, what is happening? So here's one. I used to compete in 50 and up and 55 and up in amateur. In pro, yeah, forget it. I'm not going to compete with the 50-year-olds. They are like, dude, yo, go. You.
Like that, there's that much of a difference.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I did it one time, my friend. I got off stage and I got back in line with the 50s, and I'm walking down and looking at them, and I'm like, all I wanted to go, peace out, y'all. I got you guys go. I can't. What the fudge? I'm like, no. It was really unbelievable. Like, my jaw was like, what is happening?
Well, and so that's kind of funny, because I've seen plenty of pro shows where they have like bikini masters 40 plus, 50 plus, 55 plus. And so if that's you, you're like 55, that's it. That's the only one I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you, Monique. Here's the real question. What amount of money would it take to convince you to cross over and compete in open also?
That's funny you said that, because everyone is asking me that at the last show. Why aren't you doing open? And I'm like, are you like crazy? What?
Yeah. How much would it take? We'll start a GoFundMe. We'll figure out what it takes.
I mean, there were girls I met backstage. They're like, yeah, I'm doing open tomorrow. I'm like, I'm going to eat myself into a coma. Like, what? I don't know. You guys have a good time.
That's a better plan, I think. I fully endorse that plan.
Yeah, I don't think there's any amount of money, my friend. Now, I will say this. I dream big, so I want to qualify for the Olympia. Well, guess what I just found out? In order to qualify for the Olympia, I have to beat the 40-year-olds.
So is it just for Masters Olympia you're talking
Right.
about it's 40 plus only? That's the only age
Why
bracket?
is that? Tell me, friend. Like, are you kidding me? Is it gonna? I think okay. All these women are older and they're joining in. Maybe it'll change, but right now it's 40 and up.
Yeah.
It's a bummer because I really wanted it to qualify for that, but that'll be
Well,
hard.
there's a lot of chances. Like there's a lot of Masters bikini shows out
True.
there. So
True.
so you just have to commit to doing like 12 in a year. And
Yeah, sure.
do you ever have you gotten to the point where you're thinking about like, well, these judges look at me more favorably, so I'm going to figure out where they're going and pick those shows and that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir. I'm
Because
getting
that's
savvy
really
to
like
that.
that's that next level thinking right there.
That's the next level thinking. Yep. And don't tell everyone what show you're doing.
Oh,
Because-
is that the other secret?
That's the other secret, my friend. Because it's just, I won't say, but certain competitors might show up because they hear you're coming, and
You don't want to telegraph your moves.
there you go. So I've learned
So
that.
being very vague, then, do you have a rough plan established for 2025?
Yes. I'm going to
And
train.
so
Yep.
you don't have to go into great detail because
Yes.
we just said, but do you have a firm plan for 2025?
Not set firmly, no, but a
Penciled in.
general time of year. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And some options within that time of year probably that
Yeah.
you're looking at.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And do you have an idea of how many shows you're looking at?
Well, here's the thing. I did 2 this year, and that's just a lot. It's just
It is.
these girls do 4, 5, 6. I'm like, I don't know how you do that. It's too hard. I can't.
Well, for a stretch, I was doing. I would do these videos where I'd watch the shows and I would just do commentary and record that and then post that as well. And so beforehand, I would do research on everybody and be like, okay, here's the roster for this pro show. What have these competitors done this year? And so I'd go back and do all the research, et cetera. And like, this is this person's 10th show of the year. Like they first competed in April. It's now September. Like, what on earth are you trying to prove? Oh my God! And your placings are only going down. So like, pack it in. Like
Yeah.
you can't love it that much.
No. I mean, seriously, that's rough. And these competitors too that want or that place first place, and then they go to the next contest. Why? Like you've already gotten a first. Like I don't.
Yeah. And I think so. I see that happen a lot with international competitors who come to the States, and clearly it's like, well, they're already here, so then they were planning on doing it before. They won their first show, and they had the other 2 that were already on their calendar.
Sure.
So sure, go and do it. But
Okay.
otherwise, I'm like, cancel that flight. Like, stay home. Like you won that show, great. Take a break. You've earned it. I don't get it. Like, if I was that person's coach, I'd be like, no, you won that show. You are now Olympia qualified. That is our goal. These other shows are not it. Like, we're going to start that rest and recovery process and start working towards that bigger goal right now, immediately.
That's perfect. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it any
So,
other.
okay, so we're on the same page there. Like, these people are all nuts.
I swear. Yeah.
Here's a big question for you. You said eat yourself into a coma. So,
Yes.
what if you had to choose one thing as a final meal? Like, you're on death row, you're about to be executed. There's one thing that you can have. What's it going to be?
Oh, okay. Are we talking food or dessert or both?
I mean, it's your last meal. It's like
So it's everything.
they're going to bring whatever you want. You just have
Okay.
to be able to eat it all. You can't
Oh, for
say,
sure.
"Well, I want these 10 things," and then you can't eat it all. So
Yeah. Oh, I can,
what's that?
dude. I can eat. Okay. So, all right. So, steak, lobster mac and cheese, and bread pudding, or donuts. They have to be specific though. They got to be French, made by a French pastry person. Yeah.
Anyone in particular? Just any random French pastry person, or
No,
one specific
creme
one?
brulee. Creme brulee donut. Have you seen those? They're like
No, I have not. No.
It's It's like a creme brulee dessert, but it's in a donut, and you got the
Okay.
toppings hard. Yeah. Those are good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Interesting. So steak, any particular cut? How do you have it? How's it prepared?
Ribeye. Yep. Medium well. Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Interesting. A medium well ribeye, lobster mac and cheese.
Oh, baked potato. We might as well add that in with all the fixings.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how gross you feel. You're about to be executed,
Yeah.
so you just make
Yeah.
yourself happy. Yeah.
And a dozen of any of those pastries, like croissant filled stuff, donuts. I mean, I love it. I have a sweet tooth. It's bad. It's yeah.
Do you find it easy to manage that when you're on prep?
When I'm on prep, yes. Well,
It's all
no,
business then,
no.
right?
What am I saying? No, it's very hard. but it's a mind thing. It's like you want. It's like your mind says, "Wait, I can't have that. Wait, that sucks." Like, and then you're hungry, right? And then so you have to trick your mind. So I've learned from another competitor. I'll make a slushy out of just ice and maybe some stevia, or maybe I'll use my BCAAs and make a slushy out of that. So it thinks, your brain thinks, okay, I'm having fun, I'm having a dessert, even though I'm eating water. Yeah.
Yeah, water with BCAAs.
Yeah.
Delicious. It's amazing.
It's so good.
The things that you can convince yourself are acceptable when you're on prep. Like,
Oh my
this is
gosh. I eat
amazing.
fish. I eat fish in my cream of rice. Oh yeah. With peanut butter.
Oh, hold on. This interview is over right now. What? That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Stop.
Please tell me you're not serious about that. Fish in cream of rice.
I'm
Did I
dead
hear that
serious.
correctly? Fish in cream of rice?
Yes, and 8 times a day, by the way. 8 times a day, like the whole day. I'll eat it all day long. I think it tastes good.
Oh my God.
Only because I have to, friend. Only because I have to.
I mean, I am on record as being like one of the biggest champions of cream of rice that there is.
Yeah.
You put fish near that thing, and we're going to get into a fist fight. Like, no, it's unacceptable, Monique. That is unacceptable.
That's why I can't eat fish all year long, because I know when we get down to those last couple weeks, I have to do fish, and I'm like, forget it. I'll go to a restaurant and be like, nope, no fish for this one.
No, hell no. Oh my God. So it's funny because a lot of people, they do that thing where they kind of have to trick themselves, like, into having something sweet. And I used to be one where it's like on prep, like I would always just break and be like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, dang, I just ate all this crap. And then I had some kind of a revelation. I wish I could tell you exactly what it was, but now when I'm in prep, it's just like, yeah, I don't care. It's fine. I don't need it. Like, I've got a huge sweet tooth, but when it's in prep mode, it's like my brain gets the message like, nope, it's all business now. And we do. And it's not like I can't think about it. It's just like, we don't care about that now.
Right. Totally. I get that. Yep. I get that way too. Yep.
Which it's kind of a gift if you can flip that switch and just kind of go into robot mode. Like, that's kind of nice. Yeah.
It is. Because you have to, right? Like this stage I'm in now, which is the growth stage, it's not really, you know what I mean? Like you can cheat and it's not that, but when you're in prep, you can't. Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah, you're doing things now where it's like what I like to tell my clients, it's off-season appropriate. Like,
Yes.
it's a week where, was it perfect? No. Did you really like lose the plot and overdo it? No. It's like, you're fine. Don't
fine.
sweat the little details there.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what does off season look like for you in terms of food? Like how many meals a day are you eating now? Are you like tracking calories closely, or are you just following a plan that's been written?
Yes, so I am following a plan that's been written by my coach, and so yes, I'm up to 3,000 calories a day.
Jeez.
Yeah, on a workout day, and then a couple $100. I hear the dog. Yes.
I was gonna say, are they coming through the microphone? Yeah. There's probably a UPS package getting delivered.
Of course,
there, so
of course.
They're just gonna be jerks for a minute.
Yeah, no worries. Anyway, I do, so in those 3,000 calories, that's 6 times a day. So it's a lot of protein. It's close to, I think it's 265 grams of protein I'm putting in down.
Jeez Louise.
Right? Yeah. I go to the grocery store, it's like my whole cart's like, I took all the hamburger meat off the shelves. They're like, wow, are you making meatballs? I'm like, no, I'm just eating.
No, I'm just gonna eat it raw, actually. Go for the reaction. Go for the reaction always.
I should definitely. That next time I'm doing it.
So 3,000 calories, like 6 meals a day. And are you like still maintaining a little bit of cardio, or are you telling that to just take a hike for a little bit?
A lot less cardio, more rest days. So yeah, the cardio's lightened up a bit. It's like 3 times a week, 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. And then I teach a lot, so I don't want to overdo it. Yeah, because I teach
got a lot of
dance.
burn.
Yeah, I don't want to burn away what I'm trying to build. So yeah, I'm trying to.
Typical training for you, like session is like how long are you in the gym? Like what kind of volume are you doing?
Yeah, like an hour. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Focusing on quality more than quantity.
Exactly. Yep.
I
High,
dig it.
big weight, and low reps. Yes, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I am excited to see what happens in 2025.
Me too.
We're all going to be in suspense here, unless after we disconnect here, after we stop recording, I might see if I can coax a few details out of you that I'll keep to myself, but just so I know where to look. But
okay.
Trust me, my lips will be sealed.
Gotcha.
How can people find you online?
Okay, yeah, I have a website too. It's mofitlife.com. And on that website it talks about my journey and my story, but also if you want to look into personal training with me online or offline or in person. And then I have Instagram. Yep, I have modancer32 at _IFBB Pro. There you go.
What's the significance of the 32? I have to ask.
That was the number, the basketball number jersey my husband wore.
Oh, love it.
There you go.
Nice little sentiment. I dig it.
Right?
Is there anything that I was supposed to ask or should have asked that I forgot like a moron?
Let me see.
That's where you say, yes, hold on, I have a list here. There's 10 things.
Let's see. I can't think of anything. No, not really. I think you pretty much covered it from how I got started.
We did talk about the dance stuff that you do, but you did mention also you are a trainer, so you have like training as part of your business there as well.
Yes, so I'm doing mostly. I don't have any online clients right now, but I'm doing in-person training for lifestyle clients. Yes.
Okay, in Raleigh.
Correct.
for a little bit longer. At
for
least.
a little bit longer until I move. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying you were contemplating that move back to California when?
It's coming. Yeah, December, end of December.
Okay. Do you have like house to sell and all this stuff? And
yeah, we're gonna probably keep it for a little while. We got to look around out there and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And are you thinking like a longer term move, like going out there and staying there, or like for a couple of years, whatever, and then?
No, I think a long term, yes.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Because that still feels like home for everybody, right?
What's that?
That still feels like home for everybody, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to teach my little granddaughter how to dance. Hello, let's go.
I mean, come on, the important stuff, right? Well, super cool. Monique, I appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, stick around with me here for a moment after we stop recording. So we'll say bye-bye to the audience. This has been, I think, I didn't check beforehand, but I think this has been episode 274 of the Drop Set. So,
wow.
Whew, man, yeah, it's been a while. 8 years running. So
that's awesome.
Once again, Mo, thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and we'll peace out.
Absolutely. Peace.